In order to get certain public benefits in the state of Wisconsin, you must cooperate with your local child support agency. But there are some exceptions, which I'll talk about today. We're going to focus mostly on the programs like Badger Care Plus and Medicaid, since ABC for Health focuses on health insurance. Now, what is cooperating with child support? This basically means that they will want you to provide information on the other parent, who is sometimes known as the absent parent, to your county worker or your child support agency. In some cases, this means providing information on a parent that is absent from the household again, but sometimes it's your partner that you're living with. Cooperating also means showing up for court dates and appointments with your child support caseworkers. This also includes cases where child support is not an issue if both parents are in the home and providing support for that child. Maybe it's a case of birth cost recovery, where they're trying to recover some of the birthing costs that the mother who was on Medicaid and the child who was on Medicaid incurred around the birthing time. If mom doesn't name the other parent on the Medicaid application, or if she misses any of these appointments, she could be sanctioned and she could lose her benefits. There are some exceptions though, and we wanted to talk about the good cause notice. The workers should be telling you about this when you call your county, but they don't always. So if they aren't talking to you about this in a way that's satisfactory or understandable, make sure to ask them about it. If you're going to be sanctioned around that time that you're sanctioned, you will get a notice in the mail that indicates why you were sanctioned for non-cooperation with child support, and you'll get what's called a good cause letter in the mail that indicates that you can apply for this benefit. You can request good cause and see whether or not that you actually are required to provide this information. Sometimes you're not. You will be sanctioned, you will not be sanctioned if you can provide proof that you have good cause for not giving the information about the other parent. So some of the reasons for good cause: cooperation could actually result in some type of harm to yourself or your child, to the mother or the child. This is true both of cases of child support, as well as if birth cost recovery is going to put you or your child at risk of emotional harm or physical harm, then that is one way that in some cases you can request good cause. Your cooperation, in some cases, if you are living with the partner, but it's a situation of domestic abuse or risk of abuse, and providing this information could make it harder for you and your child to escape. That's another reason for good cause. In other cases, if your child was born as a result of incest or sexual assault, you can indicate that. Or if your child was placed for adoption, or you're working with an agency in order to place your child for adoption, you could have good cause. And making this claim, how that kind of works with the county, you're going to want to ask your caseworker for this good cause claim form. You can do that by going into the office, by calling the consortia and requesting this form. Once you get this form and you fill it out, don't sign it until you're in front of a notary public, or bring it into the local agency and sign it in front of a county caseworker that can receive that information and make sure that that's correctly documented in your case as a formal request for good cause. If you do, again, get it signed by a notary public, you'll just send that form to your caseworker along with, if you can, any proof that you have to support your claim. Now, if you don't have proof right now, you can go ahead and submit that form, but then you'll have 20 days to give proof that supports your good cause claim. So, and I'm going to go over what some of the proof that you can use would be, but if none of this applies to you or the mother that you're working with and they need some help getting those records, you can go ahead and have them call their caseworker and request assistance. They'll probably want to list what they've done yet so far or tried yet so far, and the county worker will do what they can to help in that case. Now, proof for good cause claims is going to be some type of documentation that you have good cause for not providing this information. This could be a written statement from someone who knows the circumstances. Maybe a neighbor overhears, that there's an abusive situation going on in your apartment. A letter from that neighbor would count. Maybe you have a social worker that you've confided in based on the situation. Medical records, especially medical records indicating incest, or law enforcement records. So if you're calling the police based on a situation of abuse or a fear of abuse, those can help kind of establish the facts. You can also get your healthcare provider, a doctor, or someone that's a healthcare provider for you to write up a written statement about your physical or emotional health and how this will, impact that. And then again, if we're talking about a case of adoption, you just will have to provide records of the steps that you've taken in the process of either considering adoption or placing your child up for adoption. Determining good cause. To make the formal determination, the agency has 45 days to review this. Within 45 days, if they've received proof of your claim, so you not only would have to submit that form, but you would also submit that proof that we just discussed in the last slide. You will be able to continue to get Medicaid or Badger Care while your claim is being decided. And child support agencies should stop trying to establish child support until after the claim is decided. So all of that should be put on hold while they're reviewing this. If they find good cause, the child support agency should then stop any action to establish paternity or get a child support order in place. You should not be cut off from Medicaid, W-2, or other of these benefits due to non-cooperation. There are some reasons why we lose access to these benefits for other reasons, but non-cooperation won't be one of those if good cause is found. Now, if good cause is not found, that means your good cause claim would be denied, and you'll have 10 days then to either cooperate, provide the information that they need, or show up for appointments, whatever the means to cooperating are, to indicate maybe that you don't want benefits anymore, you'd rather not continue this process, or if there should be good cause and they didn't find it, go ahead and request a fair hearing. That's your ability to appeal their decision, to say, I don't think you're right, let's talk about this. Now, if you don't do any of these things, let's say you just let time pass, you will not get any benefits until you agree to cooperate and take the necessary steps. But keep in mind that your children will not be sanctioned. Even though you might have a sanction, your children are not sanctioned. They should be able to keep their Medicaid benefits, again, without issues of non-cooperation. That's a little bit of information for you on good cause. Thank you so much for joining us today.